Alrighty, everybody, it is currently Tuesday, April 22nd, 2025, and I have just recently come to one of the saddest realizations of my life. And that realization is that Shane Gillis's fan base is so insufferable that he's no longer funny. This is a tragic incident, but it was bound to happen. It happens to everyone, right? It happens to all the greats, right? Like Dave Chappelle, people that listen to Dave Chappelle and think they're like some fucking genius. Same with like George Carlin, all the greatest people of all time, all the greatest stand-ups of all time. It happens to them. So I guess this is a good sign for him. But I mean, these people are just so fucking annoying, so goddamn annoying. It's once again, I always get the irony that like when I bitch about something for 10, like when I bitch about how annoying people are for 10 minutes straight, it's just me being annoying. But also, no one's listening to me, and I don't expect anyone to listen to me, right? It's not like I'm going over here, bitching about shit. It's not like I'm like some fucking libtard going into like a college being like, I need to completely overhaul the education system so that everyone can think the same annoying thoughts that I do. It's not that. I'm bitching into a mic to no one. I'm bitching into a mic to myself. I started doing this recently where I'll like when I go to sleep. This is psychotic. I really know that this is psychotic, but I don't know why I do it. I'll just like play my podcast. I won't listen to it. I'll just like turn it on and like put my phone on mute and just have it go the whole night. Just like the algorithm's gonna really like this. This will really help the algorithm work. They definitely won't think it's a bot. And then it's not like they're promoting it. If they could negatively promote it, they would. They're burying this thing. This thing is going out to no one. I don't. They only show it to me. They only show that my podcast is going out to me because they're like, Jesus Christ, we can't fucking let this psycho get anything, dude. If this psycho gets $10,000, he's gonna do something irreversible to the planet, dude. He's gonna fuck up some ecosystem or something. We can't give this guy nothing, dude. Hold the line, dude. They got Stonewall Jackson over there. Just a team of Indians constantly like, we cannot let this psycho, we cannot let his words get out there. We can't let him get anything. He deserves nothing. Hold the line. Hold it very strong. Like Vishnu had 8 arms, he holds the line strong. Hold it against them. But the Shane Gillis fan base, dude. I've seen so many posts about grilled cheeses in the past. I mean, just in the past day, it's pissed me off. And I have been pissed off in general, but that's just because I'm smoking a lot of weed. And so when you smoke a lot of weed and you get addicted to it, it sucks when you're not smoking weed. So I think, like, I was like wondering about that. I was taking a shower and I was like, why have I been so like pissed off lately? It's like, why have I been such a little bitch all the time? And it's like, oh yeah, I'm addicted to drugs and I'm not having the drugs that I'm addicted to. Maybe that might be it. That might be it. But it is, look, it might just be me withdrawing from my weed, just shaking on the floor of my bedroom covered in cold switches, withdrawing from my weed. But they have gotten very annoyed. Just the constant grilled cheese. Isn't that? Hey guys, I saw a person with Down syndrome and I said he liked grilled cheese. Do you guys get it? Or like the fucking, and it's so funny to me. It's so funny because they think it's edgy, and I maybe talked about this in the last one, but the thing about being edgy and having like an edgy sense of humor, and I know, once again, ironic, but the thing about having an edgy sense of humor is that eventually, if the thing you want to happen, which is that people like stop, being like, oh, you can't do that, right? Like if it's normalized and accepted, then you're no longer funny, right? Like Asian accents, like anyone can kind of do an Asian accent every now and then. Like when I was a kid and we would order Chinese food, my dad would be like, oh, very, very nice. That would be, the whole house would be up and it would be a riot, dude. Even his stepkids who hate him would be like, that's a fucking good one, dude. They'd give him his props. But like now it's like you do an Asian accent and it means nothing, right? It's no longer funny. It's just whatever. Same with like the whole talking about people with like Down syndrome and like autism and grilled cheese. And Shane Gillis, like, good on him for just like doing it anyway and like normalizing it. And I know that's what Shane Gillis desires most, right? Is that is my approval of him, is my individual approval on him. But like he fucking did it anyway. And there is the bastion, there is the ultimate bastion, this fucking beautiful jewel that like very few people venture to touch the jewel. And it's the N-word, right? It's the ultimate, it's the only one left at this point, I think, right? Like you can, even like the Muslim shit, like you can kind of get away with that. Just be like, it's comedy, right? Like we'll just make it a fun. It's fun comedy. But like, there's the ultimate. There's like, I can't really think of anything else that's like all the way up there because like the Holocaust, that's all done and over with. Like Israel killed a few thousand Palestinian kids, and that one got wiped off the face of the planet. That's why Kanye said that shit about sucking his cousin's dick. By the way, he was like, "Fuck, now everyone's a Nazi, dude. These robes, I might actually sell some of these robes. I have to make a shirt that says I like sucking my cousin's dick or whatever. Like that's the last. That's the last tier left. It's the N-word and sucking your cousin's dick. Those are the only two ones left. And even if you're, I think even the N-word's going to start going out of style too, because we got all these black conservatives. We've got like Candace Owens, the Hodge twins. I'm sure there's like some guy on Fox News, but like I'm talking about like the real, like the QAnon black people, like Candace Owens and shit like that, like who really, they're not saying they aren't the master race, but like they're heavily implying it. So I think the N-word's going to go out of fashion, soon. Soon, or it's not going to be edgy more. I guess it's going to be it's going to come into fashion, like white people saying the N-word like like that. It's not going to be as fun anymore. It's not going to be your dirty little secret, which it was, dude. Like I'm gonna miss those days. It's like if a black person, like even now, like if a black person like punches a white person in the face for saying the N-word, it's still, people are kind of like, why violence is never back in the day, dude. It was just a full-on pounding, dude. It was Mike Tyson versus just some innocent civilian. They'd come up right behind you, wrap their fist around the front of your face, dude, like some Looney Tunes, like a fucking, what's that guy, Dr. Stretch or whatever from the Fantastic Four, just wrap his fist around your face and break your nose. But now it's like violence is never the answer, and George Floyd is still there. I feel like that's still one of those ones, or if you could, it's up there with the N-word, but they're all falling. All the dominoes are falling. Pretty soon we're going to be able to say the N-word, and it's just not going to be fun anymore. Like, what am I supposed to say when I like get killed in Helldivers, right? I can't be like those I can't do it anymore. It's just not as edgy. We're going to have to make an even more powerful slur, dude. And I don't know if the whites have it in them anymore. I don't know if the whites like have that drive in them anymore to like make a new slur. We need, people are saying like Europe is kind of going far right because of all like the Muslim invasion or whatever, right? Like they're going super far right, like the whole of Europe is. And I think we need that because as the N-word falls, into fashion and out of favor as like the number one slur, we're gonna need someone over there to cook up some absolutely crazy shit, dude. And I've been brainstorming, or I've been thinking, I'm like, I don't know, because the G's and the R, like those hard ones, like that's what really makes it great. It's not so much the N's, it's the G's and the R's that really make that one great. So I'm trying to come up with one, and I just can't. And I'm not gonna brainstorm out loud because ultimately, if you're trying to come up with the ultimate slur, you're going to end up back at the N-word, and you're just going to say it accidentally. And even though no one listens to this, I'm still not going to go there. But it's the ultimate slur. It is. No one's beaten it. And also no ethnicity is like within the past 500 years maybe has had it like as hard as black, maybe like the Native Americans and shit. But the Native Americans, they do have the sickest names. They do. Like the last names especially. Like I'm part Indian, and I used to go to an Indian school, and I'm gonna go back there next year. But like people have like the last name like Screaming Eagle or like Thundering Buffalo or whatever. Like those are the sickest last names. Like those last names sound like a weapon or like a plane America would use on like a socialist Middle East country to turn it into dust, dude. To turn a fucking Iran or whatever into a parking lot. Like that's what those last names sound like. They're so sick. That's what And the master race discussion it happens quite often on this episode, and we've ruled out a couple. We've ruled out a couple of the race. We've ruled out the whites because here's the thing about the whites being the master race is we already had our shot at it and we failed, right? Like we were trying to, Hitler was trying to like prove it. He was like, we're the master race, and he went out there and he tried to prove it and he failed, which kind of proves the opposite, right? That you're not the master race. And so we've already ruled them out. I think it hurts me to say this. It pains me in my heart to say this. I think we've ruled out the Mexicans as well. But I think the natives are still up. That they could be, dude. It could be like all those myths around it, like just like the mythos around like Native American shit. Once you like hang around with them a lot and like chill with them, you're just like, oh, they're just like everyone. They're just like everyone else. They're just like kind of poor, right? Like they're just like kind of historically oppressed and kind of poor, but like everyone else in America is like, what's up with them? What are they doing? And it's like, I know what they're doing. They're living in trailers and they're shooting like action figures with shotguns. I've seen that. This guy showed me a video one time and he's like, yeah, we have this ditch and we used to throw toys in there and shoot them. And it's like, oh yeah, mythos god, dude. I don't care about the ceremonies or the teepees or hunting buffalo anymore. I know what you goons are up to right now. And so I think they're out of the race right now. It might be, and that doesn't leave us with a lot of options left. That doesn't leave us with a whole ton of options. It could be the Jews, right? Like the Jews have been like been through hell, right? Like absolute, like there's no way to deny it. They've been through probably one of the worst runs of all the races, and they're still holding on. So that might be a sign. Might be the Aboriginals over in Australia, but it's a tough race and there's not a lot of contenders right now. It might be the sad truth that there isn't one. There isn't a master race. And the aliens are just going to come down and be like, fucking look at these dum-dums. Kill them all, dude. Kill them all right now. But yeah, we don't know. We don't know what's going on there. I've done the research. I've done the research into slurs in the master race. But the thing about that is, like, whenever you talk about it, whenever you make a joke about that shit, people, like, somehow they, like, assume you're racist or whatever. And it's like, no. If I was serious about it, like, if I was actually racist, I wouldn't be joking about it. I'd be very serious. I'd be like, because the people that are actually racist probably get mad when you make, like, jokes about race or whatever. Because they're like, hey, this is a serious fucking... Why are you saying white people get sunburned, dude? You better not keep saying that shit, dude. Why are you saying white people smell like wet dog? Why are you talking about black people having extra bones in their body? This is a fucking serious topic, dude. Right? It's like if you were in like a math class and you were just completely dicking around about calculus. The teacher would get upset at you. So I don't think making jokes about race makes you racist. Some of them do. So, a few of them do, but not a ton of them. The Pollock ones are that's just fun. That's just guys having fun talking about shit. How many Pollocks does it take to screw in a light? I don't know. And that one's so funny. Like the fact that for so long they just joked about like Polish people it's like they would call them stupid or whatever. And I don't know where like the joke comes from or like the origin of the joke, but it's just so funny. Like for like hundreds of years, like Poland has been like this complete war zone, right? Like everyone's always been fighting over Poland for like so fucking long. People are like fucking morons, dum-dums. Oh, you keep getting invaded? How fucking stupid do you have to be to not be able to stop the German Empire or the Russian Empire from invading you, you fucking idiot? It's just mocking them for being invaded for hundreds of years straight. That is funny, right? Like, there's no two ways about it. It is very funny to see someone just get like this group of people just go through hell and to just laugh at them and be like, you don't know how light bulbs work, idiots. And we don't know how light bulbs work either. Like, the average person, like, I feel like those were really popular, probably, like, in the 20s into like the 60s maybe. Like that's when they were really popular. And it's like these fucking morons didn't know anything either. They were smoking cigarettes and being like, that'll get rid of your asthma. You having trouble breathing there, sonny? Take a pack of 30% tar camels and smoke them. It's like that's what they were doing. They were like, these fucking idiots don't know how electricity works. Fucking, It is just very funny that they were doing that for so long. But yeah, I don't know. I don't know who's the master race. I don't think we'll ever get to the bottom of that. I should switch my major. I should switch my major over to that and go to like, what's like the super Oberlin College or whatever it's called. Like that one was like the super liberal university in like 2020, like Ben Shapiro went there and they like burned down the campus for some reason. It's like Ben Shapiro went there to like, I don't know, talk about yarmulkes and abortions or whatever, and they destroyed the campus. They were like, fuck it, no one gets to talk. They were like, Ben Shapiro wants to come here with his little fucking yarmulke and his annoying ass voice and lecture us, dude. I will nuke this place. They just like suicide bombed the whole thing. And that's like that religious fervor people talk about. And that just proves that humans are like inherently religious, because even when you're not religious, you're still religious like that, right? Like to just riot just out of your mind, like that was like Waco type shit. Like those people went fucking insane when Ben Shapiro put. And it's like I don't like Ben Shapiro either, but he's just like an annoying little nerd. Just like have like three big dudes. Have like three. I don't know if they have a football team or whatever. They probably don't. Like the Quidditch team or whatever gay sport they play over there. Have like three of those guys go on stage and just give Ben Shapiro like an atomic wedgie. Just like pull his underwear over his head, and that would have done more than burning down your entire campus for some reason. It's just so funny that they that they did that. Just immediately, the immediate response to it was like, "Well, yeah, I gotta light a mattress on fire or something. There's no other way out of this. I don't. This guy's coming to give a speech here. We gotta have a bonfire. It's the only we gotta light all our textbooks on fire. I think that's the only way. I think that'll stop him. I think we should have a hunger strike. And I never got the whole hunger strike thing either. Like I never got how that worked. Like especially like the most famous one was like Gandhi's hunger strike in India. And if you know anything like historically about what the British did in India, they like caused like a famine or some shit, or they like took all their food from them and like 40 million of them died. It's like, yeah, I don't know how Gandhi did that. I think they were just like, yeah, this is just too annoying. We stole everything from India already. Let's just tell them that like the whole Gandhi thing worked, so that they keep doing it, so that they keep doing like these inane forms of protest. Like let's just do that. We already stole all the gold and all like their artifacts. We did a complete cultural overhaul of the country. Let's just tell them the Gandhi thing worked, and maybe some other morons will try that shit too. Like that guy that lit himself on fire for Palestine. They were probably like, yeah, we were gonna do that to you anyway. Like the Mossad or whatever was probably like, yeah, we were gonna light you on fire anyway. So yeah, we're glad that you got us good. You got us good. We were already planning. We were already planning that. They might have like psyoped him into doing that just to be like, we don't want to fucking send these secret agents over there and have to like make fake passports and shit and have him like plan this shit. We'll just bully him into lighting himself on fire. Make him think it's a good idea to light him. So they just had like a bunch of Twitter bots with, the watermelons and the Palestinian flags in their bio. And they were like, yeah, light yourself on fire, dude. Good plan. I think they're lighting people on fire every day. That's their thing. They're doing worse than lighting people on fire. They're crushing them beneath like rebar and rubble and shit. Like that's infinitely worse. They're doing like Salem witch trial shit to them. In the Salem witch trials, they did light people on fire, but like the way they killed a lot of the people is they put like a piece of plywood, or they obviously didn't have plywood, but they put like a board on top of a dude. And this was like one of the famous ones because it was a dude, and they were like, you're sympathizing with the witches. And so they put a piece of plywood on top of him and just slowly stacked rocks on him until like he died. Or just the funniest way to kill someone. That must have been so funny when it was like day 3 and he could still like breathe and kind of talk a little bit, and you're like, dude, I don't know what you're doing here. Like they already lit all these bitches on fire anyway. I don't know why you're letting them crush you to death. But that's what Israel's like doing anyway. They're already and they're doing it to people that are like way worse off. Like people that like just completely, people that are probably like, dude, I'll be fucking fine under Israel. Just stop crushing us with rocks. They're doing that to like those people anyway. I don't think they give a shit about a guy lighting himself on fire. But it is It is very funny whenever they do that. Yeah, I think and it's always the fire. It always goes back to the fire, which like also kind of proves that humans are still like, our brains haven't evolved at all. In like the time we were cavemen, we're still like, oh, fire strong, fire powerful. I stop fire, me strongest, me survive fire. Maybe that's what he thought was gonna happen. He was like, I'm gonna light myself on fire and I'm gonna survive it, and then they're gonna have to stop the war. They're gonna think I'm a superhero or something, and they're gonna have to stop this war. They're gonna have to end it, dude. If I light myself on fire and survive. And I guess he did survive, but he like died immediately in the hospital. Like the whole JFK thing with like the magic bullet theory, right? Or like just the assassination in general. Like I guess he made it to the hospital when he was still alive. Like I guess shooting someone in the head doesn't instantly kill them. I didn't fucking know that. And they were also doing that during like the French Revolution, when they were like cutting dudes' heads off. They were like, this is for science. Like a bunch of Freemasons were like gathered around like the execution happening. They were like in their robes or whatever, being like, we're performing a scientific study here. And they would cut the guy's head off, and they'd be like, blink if you can hear me. They'd like go right up on the head, and they'd be like, if you can hear me, make a noise, blink or something. Just do it. And it's like, even if they are alive, they're not gonna, I would just keep my eyes open anyway, just like fucking cutting my head off. Because what did I do? Why were they cutting? Why did they cut so many people's heads off like that? Like, that's how Napoleon came to power. Is just like the other government killed so many people that there was, and they killed like their own people. Like Robespierre was the guy, and I think he killed like 17,000 people in 1 year. Like 17,000 via guillotine, whatever you want to call it, and then they cut his head off too. So they just like completely They were just having so much fun. It's like an addiction, right? It's like once you get addicted to shit, like meth. Like, let's just use meth as the example. You get addicted to meth, and at first you're like still kind of working your job or whatever, and so you can use the money from your job to be able to afford it. But pretty soon you're like ripping the copper wires out of your wall and shit. That's what they did. They like killed so many people. They were so addicted to just seeing those heads roll that they were like, this is the most fun way to kill. We discovered it. This is it. This is the most fun way you can kill someone. So they were just having a grand old time cutting heads off, and they were like, dude, we're running out of people. Whose head should we cut off now? And everyone like kind of side-eyed Robespierre, and Robespierre was eating like a hoagie or something, just munching into a Subway sandwich, just like, and they were all like side-eyeing him. He was like, what? Why do we stop talking? What are we talking about? And they were like, nothing. Don't worry about it, dude. And they're like, let's fucking get him next. Let's cut his head off. See what happens. Maybe all like the souls of all the people whose heads he cut off, maybe all of them are in there and they'll escape through his body or something. That was like the science back then. Just seeing if shit would happen. And that is what science is now too, by the way. Just trying shit and seeing if it's happening. But it's like the most boring fucking shit ever. Like even what's that called? The Hadron Collider? The thing that makes the atoms spin super fast. I think it's called a collider. What's it called? I don't know what it's fucking called, but like the thing, it's like a big circular tube, and they put like an atom in there, and they like spin it fast as shit. Even that's pretty fucking boring. Like you'd think they'd open up to like a portal to a new dimension or something, but it's like they're like, no, protons are really small or something like that. It's the most boring science imaginable. So they're still doing science the same way. They're still doing just doing like 1,000 things, and then like one thing works, and they're like, that's science. That's a fact now. That thing worked, so it's a fact. But they're doing like the most boring shit possible. You know what I mean? They're like, oh, the mitochondria. The mitochondria is actually, they're just like fucking around in there, just seeing if shit could happen and just finding out the most boring things imaginable. They're like, oh, when the mitochondria is under 25 degrees Celsius of stress, it actually produces slightly less ATP, which is the opposite of what you'd expect. And it's like, dude, discover a new species. Start making I'm sick. I'm sick and tired of it. I don't care about the mitochondria or any of the other organelles. I do care about the nucleus. That is the sickest one. I do care about that one. Mitochondria, powerhouse of the cell. I'm kind of getting tired of it. Do some shit with the nucleus. Let me see what's up in there. What's going on in the nucleus? Sickest name of all. Mitochondria is pretty sick. And then there's the Golgi apparatus. I'm a big fan of the Golgi apparatus. They're very sick name of an organelle, but let's do some other science. Let's figure some other shit out. But that's what they're doing. Just doing the most boring fucking things imaginable. They're like, how can we make artificial banana flavor? And it's like, I don't eat a banana. I don't know. The worst flavor, by the way. The worst fucking flavor is banana flavor. I don't know why they make anything banana. I don't really like bananas anyway. I don't like the texture. I don't like the shape. I don't like that I have to peel them. I don't like how 90% of the time when you open them, they're like bruised on the inside and shit. Can you name any other fruit that's like that? That's just like a complete gamble. I guess oranges are kind of like that, but you can kind of like feel an orange, smell it a little bit, and be like, all right, that one's good. But a banana will look perfect from the outside, right? Completely pristine, and inside is just like this evil, like Resident, like Resident Evil, like this rotting fucking corpse inside there. That's why I don't like bananas. And I just don't like the flavor either. You have to like mush them in your mouth like you're a fucking baby or something. If you're between the ages of like 4 and 78, you shouldn't be eating bananas, right? Like that's a food for someone without teeth. You should be eating fucking Granny Smith apples like a grown-ass man, or strawberries or something like that, but definitely not bananas. It's just the flavor too. I don't like the flavor. I can like feel it in my nose. Maybe I am autistic. Maybe I am just that autistic. But I gotta see by the way, today, I gotta see some like real autism, like firsthand, and it was an interesting experience, to say the least. It was a very interesting experience. Like, So we had like this stopwatch, right? And like at the top of the stopwatch, it was like the days of the week or whatever, and it was like they were just like blinking because it's like fuck it, we're not gonna set the days of the week on a stopwatch. And it was like in this chemistry lab, my boy that used to be my partner every time I did it, he was fucking out of there. So I was like, God damn it! And I got paired up with this autistic chick, right? And she was like, when I say freaking out about like the days of the week at the top of the stopwatch blinking, she was like, "What the? Why is it doing that? What's going on in here? Why does it?" She was like trying to program the stopwatch, and the fucking professor came over and was like, "Just fucking leave it." She's had enough of her shit, and this girl does this like every class. But usually I'm with my other boy, and I'm just like looking over at her like, God damn, I'm glad I'm with this guy, dude. I'm glad I'm with my boy Dylan. But he did. I don't know if he had his baby yet. He did allegedly have a baby. I don't want to go too into detail. I don't want to talk about the master race and be like, yeah, this dude is like super chill with me. Like he likes me. He's my friend. And just like go into detail about that guy. But no, this chick was freaking the fuck out about like the stopwatch or whatever. In this class, it's like no matter what you do in the chemistry class, like last week we had this thing where we were like running volts through like a certain, it was like, I don't know, some fucking electrochemistry or whatever, and we were running volts through like different levels of acid. Like one was like the solution is 1% acid, the next one's the solution is 2% acid, like shit like that. And we got it completely wrong. And she like came over and she was like, all right, we'll do the test again. She was like, well, is what it is. She just walked away. Like they know it doesn't matter. They were like, we already discovered all this shit. All these principles have already been discovered. We're just making you guys do this for the fun of it. We're just back. But back in the day, it must have been so fun to do that. Just like the most dangerous lab equipment possible. Just like a centrifuge that you have to like pedal by hand. Like the beakers and like the fucking test tubes come flying out of it full speed. You have like a grenade launcher. You're just spinning it with your hands. Like that must have been fun. Or just like a raw battery, like an open battery. There's just like acid and copper plates in there. And just fucking like poking your fingers in there. That must have been so fun. But no. Nowadays, we're seeing how much fucking acid a strawberry has. As if I care, dude. As if I care. We're all gonna be dead. We're all gonna die anyway. whenever I experience any hardship at all, we're all gonna die anyway. It all means nothing. Why do we have to do this? I'm just gonna be dead in 5 years anyway. I'm gonna be dead or in jail. And it's like, no, you're not gonna be dead or in jail. You're not interesting enough for that shit to happen to you. I'm not interesting enough for that shit to happen to me. I'm not interesting enough to like get leukemia or something and like fight a long hard battle and then run a marathon to like raise all this money and awareness for it and then like die surrounded by loved ones. I'm not interesting enough for that to happen. To have like people mourn my death. I'm not interesting enough. It's same with jail. I don't get that dog in me. I don't have like that entrepreneurial spirit in me to fucking to go and sell drugs. Which it is like a thing where like with this El Salvadorian guy that like got deported recently or whatever. And people are like, get these drug dealers out of our country. Get these illegal drug dealers out of our country. And it's like, at least those people are trying. Like, everyone else in the country is just like, why is my life so hard? You know, they're just like bitching about shit. This guy was like, fuck it. I'm going to take it into my own hands and start selling weed with I'm going to start skidding people's faces when they don't give me the $5 they owe me. This guy we need that guy here. That guy has like the entrepreneurial spirit in him to be like, yeah, I don't care what happens. I'm going to sell shitty petty dime bags of weed until I'll die about this shit. Like that's what we need here. And that's what every other like that's how like wealth is built. Is just like some maniac taking a complete risk, a complete gamble, willing to like destroy everything. Like that's how like generational wealth is built. Like the Roosevelts and the Kennedys. Like Joe Kennedy, JFK's dad was a fucking that Mick. he was like getting cases of Ireland from whiskey during Prohibition and selling them and shit. And the Roosevelts, they sold like fuck tons of opium. they were the Sacklers. They were selling, fent. They caused like a fent crisis basically in China. You know, it's like, why are we kicking this guy out? This is the only guy that got any dog in him anymore. Why are we kicking his ass out? What did he do? We need that entrepreneurial spirit. Don't kick that guy out. Give him $10,000 and let him start like a fucking empire. He'll create more jobs than any president in the past 4 decades has with his shitty ass weed business. Like, just let him do that. And he did get like deported to like the Center for Terrorism or whatever for having weed on. He didn't even have someone he knew had weed on him, and they deported his ass. And it's just so funny that like those are the people they're targeting. It's like some dude who like is the second cousin of someone who knows a gang member and has like a dime bag of weed, and they're like deporting those guys. It's like, really? Those are the fucking 10 tons of fentanyl come over the border every day. You catch a guy with like a water bottle full of weed that looks like dirt, and you're like, I hope you have fun in Guantanamo Bay. You know, we're spending like $80,000 to deport this guy and like torture him every day for a dime bag of weed. It is very funny that those are the guys we're getting after. But I will call ICE on anyone. Like if my grandpa had a hospice nurse and I found out that she was an illegal immigrant, I would fucking call ICE on her and get her deported right away. All right, because I support Donald Trump and I support his fight for freedom. I'll fucking deport any one of these motherfuckers. I swear to God. If I hear a word that's not English, if I hear an accent that doesn't sound quite right, like if I can tell that English isn't your first language, have fun in the Center for Terrorism, buddy. Have fun getting fucking North Korean torture every day. I'll do that, dude, because I support Donald Trump. He's a patriot. He's a billionaire patriot, and he cares about me. But it is like a lot of the people that support Donald Trump, like a lot of, especially like young people, like guys my age that support him, those same people will be like, these fucking idiots that like defend Taylor Swift online. What's wrong with them? What's wrong? Taylor Swift doesn't care about her. All her music is dumb and corny anyway. And then they'll be like, don't you fuck, Donald Trump's gonna save this country. He's the chosen one. He cares. And then they'll go on like an Anakin fucking Skywalker type of rant about Donald Trump, and then turn around and be like, oh, yeah, you like Taylor Swift? You really like Taylor's? He's going to do it's the exact same thing. And that's all that Donald Trump is. I think Donald Trump might have less power than Taylor Swift, like when it's all said and done. You know, I think Taylor Swift could send out like a tweet about like Cinnamon Toast Crunch or whatever, and like 8 people, somehow, in one way or another, like someone would be like, I don't like Cinnamon Toast Crunch, and some like 300-pound white chick with like fake blonde hair would hear that and just start executing people, just ISIS style, putting bags over their heads and sawing the fucking necks off. You know, if Taylor Swift was like, yeah, Cinnamon Toast Crunch is my favorite one, at least 8 people would die, at least. If Donald Trump can't even start a war right now. Like, he wants it. I can tell he's itching for it. He's like, I want to be a type of president that starts a war, right? It's like when chicks are like 45 and they're like, they haven't had any kids left, and they're just going to bars just being like, please, for the love of God, someone just come in me while I'm drunk. I'm not even sexually attracted to anyone anymore. I'm 45 years. Just come in me, dude. I need kids. Like that's what Trump's doing right now with the war. He's like, dude, Iran, Ukraine. Who wants to start a war with me? Please, please, someone be my op, dude. I need to start a war right now. He wants to have like a nice war under his belt. You know, I hope he does it at least with like a country that's like fun to fight against or something, right? Like Japan was like, say what you want about him, and even the Nazis too. Like those were like some fun dudes that we fought against during World War II, right? Like say what you want, yeah, they did kill like however many fucking millions of civilians. I don't give a shit. They were fucking fun. Like the Japanese still thought they were samurais, and the fucking Germans, they were on some other crazy shit. They thought they were aliens or something. Like that's a fun group of people to fight against. I hope if Trump starts a war against Iran, we're just gonna be fighting a bunch of like shitty like farmers in sandals and shit like that. Like even like the Iranian like regular army, like not the guerrillas, like the militias or whatever, like those guys, they might be a little bit fun to fight, but like it's just gonna be like some boring ass bullshit. I hope he starts like a war with fucking like, I don't know, who's crazy, who's still got like that dog in him like that, like who's like, we're the fucking master race. Really the only option is Israel. The only option, like Israel, like they believe in all like that weird mythology that like God gave them this land and that it belongs to them. Like the Catholics, they don't do that. The Catholics are like, they have like some shitty little they have like a few pieces of art, like some art with like naked babies or whatever on like a 18-acre plot of land that's enveloped within another city. Like that, the Vatican City is what I'm describing here. Like that's all the Catholics have. But like Israel's like, God has chosen enough. It's our manifest destiny time. Destroy everything, dude. They're trying to do like some Alexander the Great type shit and like take over the Middle East. That's like a fun enemy to fight, right? Wouldn't they be? Because they'd fucking defend that shit with a passion. Like if you invaded like China or something, like a lot of those people are so oppressed anyway, they just like put their hands up and be like, yeah, whatever, you can fucking have it. Like they wouldn't be a fun enemy to fight. Yeah, they have a lot of people and they do have like some military technology that in like some ways is like on par with ours, but they don't have like that fun, like that like just believing that like some crazy mythology about themselves. They do kind of have that, like a little bit. Like they think China's been a country for which is just like the most ridiculous thing. Like when people are like, Greece is the oldest country on earth. Greece has been a country for 500 years, and it's like, no, that's not just because, right? Like you could make that same argument for literally anywhere. Then Ethiopia is the oldest country on earth, right? Because people have lived there forever. No, but like they still believe it. So China might be a little bit fun. Russia's too much like Europe, right? Like Russia's too much like, oh, life is meaningless. It has no. I don't know why I'm doing it in Indian. I can do a Russian accent, but you can't say life is meaningless in a Russian. That it just doesn't. It doesn't mesh well. But they still have like those beliefs, right? Like those old like Russian like transcendentalist authors. I don't know if they were transcendentalists, but like those old Russian authors, like that guy who wrote the book that was all about a guy who killed himself, like that type of guy. Like that's the spirit Russia has. Like it's like a sad, depressing, like emo type of thing. Like that's why they're not winning in Ukraine. Everyone thinks they're not winning in Ukraine because Ukraine's receiving too much American support, when in reality the Russians are just like all a bunch of like emo fucking pussies, just like, my life has no meaning. Oh, I'm Stratvutsy. I'm from Russia. My life has no meaning. It means nothing to me. See how unnatural that sounds like? And it's not just because my accent is dog shit. It's just it doesn't mesh well with their ethos. Like maybe if you said it in Russian, it's not poetic enough. That's the thing. Like the Russians are very poetic. Like Putin is like defending his invasion of Ukraine by using like fucking like references to plays from like the 1400s. Like that's what he's doing. He's like, when Shakespeare wrote about the great Tsar Nicholas, he wrote about and he's like using that to like justify his invasion of Ukraine. They're a very artful, poetic people. So they might be a little bit fun to fight, but like their art's like depressing. Like Chinese art is like some giant like jacked Chinese guy like holding like the throat of like an American soldier to the ground, being like, fuck you, or fuck you, pussy. Like that's what China is. But Russia's just like all these depressed little pussies, so they're not going to be a fun enemy to fight either. I think it's just Israel. Like Israel really has like that. They really believe they're God's chosen people, and so that's going to be a fun one if we get it. Like that's why I support like the whole Palestinian thing. I don't care about like, oh, it's a genocide or whatever. They're like they're doing war crimes, or they're fucking, they're I don't care about any of that. I don't care. It would be a fun enemy to fight. That's why I think we should invade Israel. I don't give a fuck about Palestine, dude. And Palestine might also be fun because those people, in spite of literally everything, I don't know why they just haven't left it. It's like every other country around it is the exact same. Like Jordan, I think. It might be Jordan. It's Jordan or Kuwait or like one of those countries around there has the exact same. I think the Palestinian flag is just stolen from like Jordan or Kuwait or something, and still they're holding out. So they might that might be why Israel's doing it. They're just like, this is so fun. Can you believe it, dude? How are they still holding on? They have an acre of land that 10 people live on, and they're still trying to take hostages and shit. It just must be so much fucking fun for them, and that's why they're still doing it. And that's why we need to invade Israel, because it's just so much fucking fun. Maybe there's like some country in like Africa or whatever, like Liberia. Liberia would be a fun forever war for America to get involved with. And just like the history behind it, because America like created Liberia. Like Liberia was a colony, kind of, not really a colony, but when slavery ended, we were like, here's Liberia. There was like a bunch of tribes people living there. They're like, this isn't even a country. This is just a piece of land that what are you guys talking about? And we were like, slaves, you guys go there. All right, go back. They literally hit the go back to Africa on the slaves, and they did it. It worked, right? Like those slaves were so much less annoying than the black people we have now, because when they were told to go back to Africa, they actually listened. But that would be like a fun, forever war for America to get involved with. And also, Liberia had a couple of civil wars in like the 90s and 2000s, I think, and they were having a grand old time over there. They had like General Butt Naked, they had General Mosquito, they had General Mosquito Spray. It was just, they were like eating each other and stuff. They were like sacrificing babies and like eating their hearts and shit. Like that's just China's not going to do that. China's just going to like send waves and waves of like peasants to just get killed by like the American like artillery and all our advanced aircraft and shit. Like that's not going to be fun. But those Liberians, they'll fucking cover themselves. They'll make like a ghillie suit out of grass and go like Sean Taylor on us and attack us with machetes and shit. And if you don't get the reference there, Sean Taylor, he was a football player, right? And he pretty famously got killed. But the way he got killed, and I think this account is like it was like a home invasion, right? So like someone broke into his house and like tried to kill him or whatever. And I think this is from fucking the home invader, like the guy who committed the robbery himself, the criminal, the thug that killed him. But anyway, when the guy like broke into his house, Sean Taylor was sleeping, right? It was like the middle of the night, and he just grabbed a machete and ran down there like butt ass naked and just like sprinted at this guy full speed. And Sean Taylor was a fucking menace, dude. This guy was like 6'2", probably maybe not like 230, but he was a gigantic fucking dude. He was like an NFL athlete. He played safety. So he was like a Palomalu, Ed Reed type guy, just smacking the fuck out of everybody, dude, and just sprinted at this guy full speed with a machete. Like, that's what we need, dude. That's the enemy we need to fight. That's what Japan was doing in World War II. Like, I watched this thing with this lady, Sarah Payne. She's like a historian at the Naval College, not like the Naval Academy, the Naval College. I guess that's a different thing. But she's like a professor there, and she gave this speech or like this lecture about World War II that I watched. And she said, I don't know if this is true, and this is also when I was like falling asleep and kind of high, so maybe it's complete. Maybe I'm completely misremembering it. But she was talking about like how America just smacked the fuck out of Japan during World War II because they didn't have like the supply routes and like they didn't have like the same level of military built up, and they were fighting the war on two fronts. They were also fighting China at the same time they were fighting America. And she said the two main weapons the Japanese used in World War II was grenades and bayonets, dude. That sounds like so much fucking fun. You just have like a fully automatic like Thompson machine gun and you're just gunning dudes down while they sprint at you with bayonets. Tell me that doesn't sound like fun. But no, we're going to like Iraq to like some dudes like shoot at us and then like run up into like some mountain range or like into like some mosque or whatever. Like, that's boring. It's just a boring fuck. That's why all those guys have PTSD. They were just so bored during the entire war that they had PTSD from it. You know, they're just like, we're sitting out here in the middle of these deserts, like one dude gets shot and then it's over. Right? Like, it's not like these full scale just like running at each other with like clubs and shit. That's what we need. That's what America needs. Like a real fucking war like that, you know, to bring the country. Everyone's like, if we get in another war, it's going to bankrupt us, or it's just going to be a complete embarrassment. It's going to be the end of the American empire. And that might be true. That might be true if we get into a war with like Iran or whatever. But if we invade like Israel or Liberia or just one of those psycho fucking countries, that would be a fun war. Maybe Ireland. Nah, Ireland. They're all just like the Russians anyway. They're all like depressed artistic pussies or whatever. So that wouldn't be a fun one either. But we need like a real fucking war we can get involved in. Let's just choose one. Just roll a fucking dice and see like what civil war genocide is going on right now and send like 1 million people over there and just have some fucking fun. That's what we need to do. That's how we get America back on track. We need another world war. Okay. I'm calling for war. It is current events, and we do have to talk about current events. And unfortunately, I'm not the Secretary of State, but you know who is Marco Rubio? I did not know that fact. Marco Rubio is the Secretary of State. No, The Guardian, I'm not going to sign up for anything. But Marco Rubio announces sweeping reorganization of U.S. State Department. Oh, fuck. God damn it. I like pop-ups. Whatever. Okay, the Secretary of State Marco Rubio has proposed a sweeping reorganization of the U.S. State Department as part of what he called an effort to reform it amid criticism from Trump White House over the execution of U.S. diplomacy. If approved, the organization would cut more than 700 positions and eliminate 132 of 734 offices. Okay, so there's 700 offices, and on average, there's 7 people working in each one. Is that what you're saying to me? That's how the math is working out. By my estimate, it's less than 7. 700 positions across 132 offices, and those 132 are going to be completely eliminated, right? So there's no one working in that office anymore. So there's like 6 people, like 6.5 people per office. And this is what they're focusing on. They're going about it in the most inefficient. I talked about this before, but they're doing it in the most inefficient way possible. They're like, all right, we're getting rid of the fucking the people that put out the fires, right? There's 40 people that all put out all the wildfires in California or whatever, and we're gonna fire them all, and they're not even saving. It costs more to fire all these dudes than they would save if they fired all of them. It's so funny, just how inefficiently they're going about it. And another thing about all this is it's kind of fake. it's kind of like, whether you support it or not, whether you're like, we need to decrease the deficit or whatever, you don't know how that works, by the way. Anyone that's like, we need to fire all these people because our deficit's too high or too low, you don't know how that works. And don't pretend like you do, because no one understands how it works, because it's so bogged down in bureaucracy that you couldn't understand it in 1,000 fucking years. And I like that. I appreciate that. But yeah, no, it's not real. Like, Haskell, Indian Nations University, I think like every single professor, like employee that wasn't tenured, got fired from there, and then a week later they all had their jobs again. A week, the fucking campus didn't even shut down for a week. It wasn't even shut down. It just, like, 10 people lose their jobs for a week, and then they all got their jobs back. So all of this is fake, right? I'm sure if you looked at it and like really looked into it, it was completely fake. But whatever. Other reports on Tuesday leaked through the conservative news outlet The Free Press said that Rubio was planning to request an across-the-board 15% reduction in personnel. And this just shows that you can kind of just be a you don't need to know about how the government works at all. You're just like, yeah, reduce it by 15%. Just what does that... You're not doing an actual investigation into how it works or like what jobs are necessary and what aren't. You're just like, yeah, cut it by 15%. You can just, and that was a completely made up number. They were like, that's like a nice round number. Like someone was like walking by a department store or whatever, and they were like, they saw like a 15% off sign, and they were like, that's how much we should cut the budget by. Like if it works for Kohl's, it's gonna work for us. So it's a completely made up number that means nothing. And it's not going to happen either. Like all these people, like every president we've had in the past, however many fucking decades or whatever, has promised to cut spending, has promised to like reduce the debt that we're into China or whatever, and none of them do it. You can't do it, dude. The bureaucracy's too powerful. It's a serpent. It's an eldritch god sent from hell by the devil himself, dude. You can't stop bureaucracy. It's all consuming. It's the ultimate thing. That's what's going to lead to the downfall of humanity. It's going to be bureaucracy. You know, even if we go back to like caveman times, we're still going to have like a certain, no, Grug cannot have apple. Grug must fill out form on Foxpelt to get apple. Like that's going to be like when the earth is completely destroyed, when we finally nuke each other, the bureaucracy, it's going to be the one thing remaining, and it's going to be the one thing that's holding us all together, right? Like the anger people feel towards like the faceless bureaucratic leaders. That's what's going to be the thing that like propels us out of that stone age that we put ourselves in. And so, I mean, yeah, you can't stop bureaucracy. But that would be the largest cut in the diplomatic corps in decades, although it is less drastic than draft proposals that had been circulated in a report from the White House's Office of Management and Budget suggested a 50% cut in the department's budget, which, by the way, that's an office just like that's a Nepo baby office. You're just like, yeah, you work in the Department of what, Management and Budget? Yeah, fucking... Yeah, he's out of rehab. He was addicted to cocaine for a little bit. Just get him a job at the fucking Department of Management and Budget. You could have any degree and work in that, right? Like, I'm sure the degree they want is like communications or management or whatever. A degree that means nothing, by the way. Like my dad has a communications degree, and he was like, yeah, it means nothing. It's like he literally told me, I got the worst degree. I got the most meaningless degree. He's like, it means you just need to get a degree so you can get a job. Like that's what he did basically. And that's the degree you need to work in the Office of Management and Budget. The two things that are pretty unrelated to each other, right? Like those two things are as related to each other as like education and military. Like, yeah, education and you need to be educated to be in the military, but they're still pretty unrelated. And they just mashed them into one office for like people to make power for like the sons of these politicians, the sons and probably, let's be honest here, mostly daughters of these politicians to just make PowerPoints all day. And that's what they did when they created that office. And here's the other thing about the articles. I used to not read the articles beforehand because I was like, ooh, it's going to be a fun, nice little surprise when I get to these articles, right? Like if I don't read them beforehand, if I just read the headlines, then it'll be a fun surprise and you can get my honest reaction out of it. But my honest reaction is just, what does that say? Wait, no, that doesn't. Okay, what does that? Yeah, no, okay. That's my honest reaction out of it because I'm reading it for the first time. But yeah, no, when I was reading it, my only thought was like, this is completely made up. But this was the quote that I was looking for. The sprawling bureaucracy created a system more beholden to radical political ideology than in advancing America's core national interests, Rubio said in a statement. And that's how you know these people are fucking idiots, because the whole point of bureaucracy, it's kind of not beholden to anything, right? Like it's just like this slow grinding machine that's going to keep just doing paperwork over and over and over again. Like that's these people they haven't read like a single book ever. Like just read like a page out of a Kafka book and you'll understand bureaucracy better than these fucking idiots. Like literally a page. Read a page from the book The Trial and you'll understand because the whole point of that book, and this is going to be a fun exploration into a book I didn't finish. I got like halfway through it and I could like see the future. I was like, oh, like this whole thing is just, it's kind of like a joke almost, right? It's just like bureaucracy is just like this long grinding thing. And he was just like, I'm going to put this in book form, right? Like that's kind of, I feel like what he was trying to do. Maybe a little bit just like this book that continues on and kind of like repeats itself, but in different ways over and over and over again until the end just kind of like fizzles out, right? Like I obviously didn't finish the book, but that's what I imagine happened at the end of the book. It's so funny that I'm trying to be like smart. I'm like, haven't you read Kafka? Have you ever heard of Freud, huh? Have you ever heard of any of these intellectuals? You haven't heard of any of them? Okay, well then don't talk to me about bureaucracy. But no, anyone that's ever dealt with bureaucracy before, the political ideology behind bureaucracy is bureaucracy itself, right? It's the idea that everything has to be like micromanaged, but also not managed at all. It's like this paradoxical belief system, right? It's a beautiful thing. I love it. I love bureaucracy. I want to get a job as a bureaucrat one day so that I can keep doing my racist podcast that no one listens to. That's my goal in life, is to just do stand-up and racist podcasts and have a job filling out paperwork all day. Like, that's my dream in life. I need that. I desire that. I want that, dude. Nothing better to me than that, because if you go full into stand-up, you know, I'm obviously not good enough, and I probably never will be good enough to do any of that. And so I just need a job as a bureaucrat. And even if I was good enough, it would still suck. It would still be the exact same bullshit. The same fucking problems I have now would exist then too. So it's just, I want to get a job as a bureaucrat and go to open mics and make jokes about how small my dick is, or just repeat Shane Gillis bits on stage. That would be the funniest thing ever. Like the most famous comedian in the world, like whoever the most famous ones are, like Shane Gillis. I don't know if Joe Rogan's that famous, but like, and there's a ton of like Fluffy, like go to like a Mexican comedy club and just do Fluffy bits on stage, just completely steal them, and then the next day fucking put on my collared shirt and go to my job filling out forms all day. Like that's my dream in life. That's my goal. If I can get there, then I'll be happy. But yeah, our organizational chart has become bloated with the priorities of past administrations, a senior State Department official said. And that's another one of these things that shows that these people don't know if this shit works at all. And it's always funny to me when people think that like some president is going to bring around like radical change. Like the only president that ever changed anything was FDR, right? Franklin Delano Roosevelt. He was the only fucking president that actually caused like a significant change in the country, and that's because he was president for 16 years during the biggest war in the history of the world, right? Like that, and even he didn't change shit that much. You're only in there for 4 years. The amount of paperwork, like, I'm sure there's like certain things they want to do, and the amount of paperwork it requires to do them is at least a fucking year, right? And then the paperwork has to get revised, and then it has to go to Congress and get rejected. Oh, and that's another year we have to spend on this shit. That's just that's going to keep happening over and over again. So obviously the president is dealing with shit from past administrations. Do you think you're just going to walk in there and the fucking thing is going to be completely blank and no one's going to be working there, and you're just going to walk in there with whatever retarded staffers you have, and you're just going to completely you think like Congress is just like, we're beholden to you now? No, it's a beautiful bureaucratic machine that's slowly going to grind itself to death, right? So yeah, no, the president isn't going to change anything, but it'll be fun. It'll be fun to watch. And then our next article we always have a celebrity news bit. I don't know. I feel like they're always just so funny, right? Like every exploration, and even the ones into like the political side of things, like even like the Israel shit, it's so mundane at this point. I feel like the celebrity shit, like just how mean and like chirpy they are. That is the fun thing about Trump being back, is that like, dude, that dude can chirp, dude. Call him the Blue Jay. Call him a songbird, because that man can chirp like no one else. But this one is about Meghan Markle, which is, if you've ever listened to Tim Dillon, and maybe I shouldn't have chosen this one because I'm never going to be able to touch Tim Dillon's greatness and is just fucking poignancy when talking about Meghan Markle. But this is a very funny article that I found. Enormously shallow Meghan Markle, and enormously shallow is in quotes, is trying to be the next Beyonce or Michelle Obama, royal expert claims. And as I was reading this, I was like, why are you comparing? Like, Beyonce kind of became famous completely on her. Like, it's not like she married Jay-Z and then, like, her career skyrocketed from there. She was fucking grifting, and, like, she was kind of like a, wasn't she in, like, a child, like, band group, like Destiny's Child? Wasn't, like, her mom her manager, and, like, she was in that shit? I don't know. But she fucking, she's been grifting and, like, jumping from genre to genre, becoming the most famous, wealthy psychopath on the planet for years. So I don't know why you're comparing Michelle Obama and Meghan Markle. Like, all Michelle Obama and Meghan Markle did was, like, suck the right dick. And even then, they probably didn't even suck the dick. They sucked the right dick, but they didn't suck the right dick right. You know what I mean? Like, Michelle Obama maybe did. If you look at her, look, Michelle, I'm not saying she's a man or whatever. She's not the best looker, right? Like, she's not the best looker, so she probably gave Barry O some insane head, right? Like, even if he's gay, the head was so good, it probably turned Obama from gay to straight. Like, Michelle Obama was probably like a CIA asset that, like, someone sent in to, like, suck Barack Obama's dick to turn him straight so that they could, like, have him run for president or whatever. And same with Meghan Markle. Like, this was obviously, like, some weird, like, setup by, like, a talent agency or whatever to, like, bring Meghan Markle back to relevancy. But Beyonce kind of got that shit on her own. She did it all on her own. But this mean, nasty bitch is talking shit about Meghan Markle, and I love it. I think her name is Tina Brown or something like that. And this lady, by the way, is, like, it's like one of the ones that probably killed Princess Diana or whatever. And if you don't know, Princess Diana, allegedly, this is probably complete bullshit, but the way she died is that, like, the paparazzi was, like, chasing her car or whatever, and that they were, like, flashing their cameras in the car, like, the driver of the car got blinded and he ran into a wall at, like, 190 miles per hour. And by the way, why do, like, these intelligence agencies do that? Like, the guy that killed himself by shooting himself in the back of the head twice with a shotgun or whatever. Like, why do they do it in, like, the most improbable ways possible? I just, like, feed the guy. It's probably because it's not as much fun, right? Like, they're people too. Everyone's a person, right, guys? We have to consider their emotions. We have to have some empathy with these CIA agents who are sent to kill people who are gonna, expose the truth or whatever. And we have to, like, understand their point of view as well. And it's just not as much fun to feed a guy a bunch of pills and then write some, like, boring fake suicide note. It's probably way more fun to, like, string him up by his toes and skin him alive, right? Like, that's if you're a psychopath, and even if you're not a psychopath, that's, like, an objectively more entertaining way to kill someone. Like, if you're just gonna give him a bunch of pills, right, like a bunch of Oxycontin or whatever, and watch him slowly drift off to, like, a peaceful death, like, that's boring as hell. No, I want to take this guy and I want to drown him to death in 2 feet of water. Like, that's way more fun. But Meghan Markle. This lady's talking shit about Meghan Markle, but Meghan Markle's panic-stricken business approach isn't serving her, according to a royal biographer. Which, can you think of a more, like, completely fake bullshit job? Like, maybe a royal biographer from, like, the 1800s, back when they actually had power or whatever. Maybe, like, that's interesting. But now, royal biographer, she's in the paparazzi. Like, that's all. She's, right? It's like when like, I worked at Lowe's or whatever, and I was, like, a sales associate, right? Like, that was my official title, and it's like, no, I'm a minion, right? Like, let's be very fucking clear. And I'm applying for, like, some of these summer internship jobs, and it's like summer outreach engineer, environmental engineer, summer outreach program, and it's like, no, I'm just a fucking dumb little minion that's going to be looking at paperwork or whatever for you all day. And by the way, applying for internships, completely impossible. I'm never going to get any of these. I don't know. I'm still applying for them, but I am. I'm going on Indeed.com and being like, yeah, let me look right here. How much is this? I'm scrolling with one finger, leaning back a little bit, like adjusting my glasses. What's this one? Yes, youth outgroup environmental engineer. Sounds quite nice. That's what I'm doing right now. And it's just like, no, just call it what it is. I'm going to be a fucking minion. All right. And that's another thing that's kind of causing the downfall of the country. And this is part of bureaucracy, is that everyone receives, like, some completely bullshit job title about what they do. Sorry, I got to take a sip. Apologizing to no one. Meghan Markle. And this lady, I read this and I was, like, crying laughing. Like, this is what Trump was meant to do. Like, I know a lot of people are like, Trump would be so much funnier if he was a drag queen. Like, that's, like, a thing I've seen a few times on there. And it's just, people aren't saying that because they think he's funny or whatever, because they find him entertaining. They're just like quietly trying to be like, Trump's gay, right? Like, that's their thing. I mean, this is really what Trump was meant for. Like, he would just dig into Meghan Markle. He would dig into her harder than Harry is. Harry probably isn't. It's Prince Harry, right? I don't know. They're all inbred. They're right. Like, they're all the exact same person because they're so severely inbred. So it doesn't really matter what his name is. But he's probably not giving her that good dicking either. He's used to like going to Epstein's Island and having like a 9-year-old suck on his cock while he plays the Nintendo Switch. Or like, that's the vibe that Harry gets off. That gives off, right? Like, the other one, Andrew or whatever, like, you look at that guy and they were like, oh, he went to Epstein Island, and you're like, oh yeah, that guy definitely was in there. He definitely, but he also doesn't give off like full on like 9-year-old. He's like a 16-year-old type of guy. Like, that's so a chill ass guy basically. That's what I'm trying to say there. But like, that's the vibe Andrew gives off. But Harry gives off like, we have to go to Epstein's Island again. Really, I'm just about to beat Baldur's Gate 3 and I have to go to Epstein's Island. I don't even like it. I don't even like it. And he has like a very like autistic, like sexless, like aura air around him. And so I don't think he was there just because of that. Like, he just seems like so sexless. So Trump like the just like the verbal attack Trump would give Meghan Markle would probably make her like a little excited, like make her come a little bit. Like, but she, she's such a psychopath. Like, look into her cold, dead eyes. Like, she has like Hitler type of like those dark, like inexplicably dark eyes. Like, those are the eyes that Meghan Markle has. Like, I don't even know if she can come anymore. Like, she needs some seriously fucked up shit to come. But anyway, back to this. I think her name is Tina Brown. Just destroying this lady. Former Vanity, yeah. Trying to be a sort of instant Beyonce or instant Michelle Obama with back-to-back launches of her own podcast, Netflix show, lifestyle brand, and Shop My page. So I guess Shop My is like one of like those Squarespace or Wix or whatever where you can like sell your own products. I guess that's what that type of thing is. But like, this is very funny, is that she's just like the first like 3 famous black women that popped into her head. Like, that's who she compared, because it's not Michelle Obama. I can see that compare, but Beyonce, where are you getting that from? She just like thought of 3 black people. One of them is, I wouldn't even count Beyonce as black. She's just like a fucking, she's a Freemason. She's just like, she's so famous and so psychotic at this point, she doesn't have a race. But she just compared it to like the first 3 black women she thought of. Yeah, Meghan Markle's kind of like Wanda Sykes or Miss Pat or Lunel or whatever. Just like, she's kind of like, who Meghan Markle reminds me of? Whoopi Goldberg. And I feel like, I don't even know if it's racist because I don't think Meghan Markle is black. Like, one time I was at a store with my mom and we were waiting in line or whatever, and how at the grocery store they have like the tabloids like right next to the aisle that you can like, I don't know, look at or whatever. Like, my family's like, we'll make jokes about it. We'll be like, oh my god, can you believe Jessica Simpson got a second lap band? Like, that type of thing. Like, but that's what you can do. And it was the other one, what's her name, Kate Middleton, was on like the front page of like the Time or like the whatever the fucking magazine was, like the Hollywood Explorer or whatever. And I like went to my mom and I was like, that lady's like supposed to be black, right? She was like, that's the wrong one. Meghan Markle, I don't know where this idea came from that she's black. Like, she doesn't even like really, because I've seen people that are like, half or like a quarter black, and they like they have like lighter skin, but they don't look black, or you can like still kind of tell they're black. Meghan Markle doesn't have that. I look at her and like, that's a fully white lady. Like, she has dead straight hair. Her nose is like, she has like a Jewish nose, right? She has like a little fucking like Michael Jackson button nose or whatever. She doesn't look black at all. But anyway, it's just like this lady like just internally thought of Meghan Markle, and she was like, who are other 2 famous black women? Like, does Beyonce have a lifestyle brand that I'm not? Does Beyonce have a Netflix show? But I guess that's what she's doing. But Brown labeled the Suits alum numerous projects as enormously shallow. Yeah, they're all every single thing any of these people does is enormously shallow, right? Because they themselves are these people are psychopaths who care about. You don't get that like famous or successful without being just a pure psychopath who doesn't really even know what they themselves care about. Like, I don't even know if Meghan Markle knows what she cares about, right? Like, I don't think she's like, oh, I'm gonna start my own jam. Like, I had to like marry like the Prince of England or whatever so I could start my own jam brand. Like, right? I don't think that's what she was trying to do in life. I think she's just a psychopath. It was like, what should I do? I'm gonna marry this fucking inbred ginger guy. Like, I think that's what it was maybe more akin to. Like, she herself is a norm, but it wasn't like that insane. It wasn't like, It was like, Her like fucking, squinted eyes, kind of like a dirty, hairy Clint Eastwood look, looking around. What should I do now? Like, these people are just psychopaths who are just like going on stepping stones, trying to, I guess, maybe fill a hole in themselves that even the hole doesn't really exist, right? They're just so completely empty inside that they're not even trying to fill a hole, right? Because the hole can't exist. I think that's what Meghan Markle's. I think this is a complete misread of who Meghan Markle is, but my thing might also be a misread, right? She might just be like a retarded chick who like some fucking talent manager or whatever was like, yeah, that chick's kind of hot and she's a quarter black, but she's black and she's not really black, so I can turn her into like this crazy successful thing. That might also be what Meghan Markle is, but it's one of the two. It's not her being like, what's been my passion throughout my whole life, acting in Orange Marmalade. That's what I care about. So I don't think that this is like, I don't know. I don't think this lady's right. Advising her to just do one of the things at a time on a recent Miss Signals episode. So this lady was just like, just do one thing. Just pick one thing. This lady's kind of like me. I think there was a picture of her here somewhere. The lady who was like talking shit or whatever. And I think she was like no, never mind. I thought she was a lesbian. I thought she was like a butch, like a lesbian type of chick. She has kind of like, she's about 2 steps away from Hillary Clinton. That's kind of how this chick looks like a slightly more feminine version of Hillary Clinton. But she's tearing Meghan Markle to pieces. But Meghan Markle, of course, her endeavors are enormously shallow, right? Like how I'm kind of dumb, right? So all of my endeavors in life are also going to be kind of dumb. Obviously, all of Meghan Markle's endeavors in life are going to be enormously shallow, but this evil, she doesn't care about that. She doesn't care about the human psychology aspect behind it. She's just trying to rip into a bitch, dude. She just had a fucking Ambien, right? And the Ambien doesn't even put her to sleep anymore. She's got that fucking dog in her, right? She's been taking Ambien and white wine for years. And she was like, I gotta fucking rip Meghan Markle a new one, dude. She woke up from like a prescription pill hangover and was like, fucking Meghan Markle, dude. That's all this lady cares about. And I admire that. I admire that just pure tenacity, especially at her age, to just rip into everyone. I guess not everyone. I guess she's a royal biographer. And that is kind of like, it's kind of like when people hunt like or fish in like a super stocked pond or whatever, like a pond that's like filled to the brim with like fish that are kind of retarded. Like they just put the fish in there. The fish are all weak as hell. That's kind of what that feels like, right? Like that's what it feels like to be a celebrity gossip person, but to like focus in on like the royal family. Like they're like there's like a thing in pheasant hunting that they'll do where they'll shake the box of the pheasants, or there's another one where they'll like spin the pheasants around really quickly and then they'll let the pheasants out of the cage and then they'll just like shoot them on the ground. That's kind of what it feels like to go after like Meghan Markle and the rest of those retards. But I thought they weren't part of the royal family anymore. I thought they left. But that whole thing is like, that's one of those things where it's like, even if you leave, we're doing so poorly, we'll let you right back in. It might be one of those things. It's like, you better not fucking leave, and they leave anyway, and it's like, oh, fuck, I don't know what I'm going to do without him. So you're welcome back whenever. I feel like that's the type of deal this is. But no, she's ripping into Meghan Markle, letting her know what's up. I feel like she knows Harry's like a special guy. She's just like, like as she's like yelling at fucking Meghan Markle, she turns to Harry. How are you doing, sweetie? Are you doing okay? Okay, that's good. That's good. I'm just me and your mummy, me and your wife are having a discussion. Yeah, go eat some crumpets. You brought a Nintendo Switch. Oh, it's quite fun. You're playing FIFA, aren't you? Okay. She just like tells him to fuck off. And then she goes in and rips Meghan Markle a new clit. So... But that was our celebrity piece of the day. And of course, guys, we got to go back to Israel-Palestine. So, and I read a little bit of this one too. New Israel-Gaza ceasefire plan proposed, Hamas source tells BBC. And I don't know why they always refer to it as Israel versus Gaza. Maybe Israel like completely destroyed the West Bank so much. Or the West Bank is... Because I think the West Bank is like, it's inland, right? Like it doesn't have like water access or anything. So maybe they're just like... Yeah, we're going to let you guys in Gaza figure this one out. But anyway, they're beefing with each other. A senior Palestinian official with Hamas ceasefire negotiations has told the BBC that Qatari and Egyptian mediators have proposed a new formula to end the war in Gaza. What's this new formula? What did they cook up this time? These people that have been fighting for 1,000 years. I figured it out, guys. It's like when those... I get a lot of retarded people on my TikTok, or not retarded, but like schizophrenic people on my TikTok. They're just, I don't know why. I guess the algorithm knows me better than I did, dude. Please don't let the algorithm be right about me being schizophrenic. But anyway, I get a lot of these people on my page, on my TikTok page, and they're always talking about like how they figured out perpetual motion, or like they designed like a utopian city, or like a floating utopian city or whatever. That's what this feels like. It's like, yeah, I figured it out. I felt like some fucking Arab guy running out of a room with like a fistful of papers, just like, I figured it out. I figured it. I know how to end the war. I know how to do it. It's like, what, you're gonna destroy America first so that Israel doesn't have any of its weapons? Is that your plan to end the war? Because that's looking like it's the only way to do it. But according to the official, it envisages what the fuck, a truce lasting between 5 to 7 years, the release of all Israeli hostages in exchange for Palestinian prisoners held in Israeli jails, a formal end to the war, and a complete Israeli withdrawal from Gaza. So that's your plan. Your plan is that everything is going to be that's I predicted it perfectly. I did read this article beforehand, but I kind of skimmed it a little bit, so I didn't, exactly read that part. But that is a good plan. His plan is, why can't we just be friends, guys? Guys, you're fighting for what reason? You're both all going to hell anyway. Why are you guys fighting? There's only one true God, and neither of you guys have it right. So why are you? That's his plan. Why can't we be friends? That's his plan. His plan is to just. The plan to stop the war is to stop the war, essentially. That's the fucking plan. What negotiations went on behind the scene? Because Israel, and they could have been doing this the entire. You think they didn't think of that? You think they weren't like, yeah, we should like stop the war and like give all our hostages and like prisoners of war back to each other? And it is very funny that they called the Israelis hostages, like it's a bunch of like children and shit that they like are like have their knives to their neck and shit. And then the Palestinians, those guys are prisoners. Those guys are like thugs that committed crimes. And that's maybe another indication that Gaza maybe could win this war, because if you look at it historically, militaries that approach these types of insurgent wars like they're looking at it like criminals or whatever, those people do historically lose. So you could look at it like that. But yeah. The ceasefire collapsed a month ago when Israel resumed bombing Gaza, with both sides blaming each other for the failure to keep it going. I did read that part, and that part was so fucking funny to me. Is that immediately after they like did the ceasefire negotiations, they just started doing it again. Israel, and I did talk about this on one of the first current event ones I did, but they just went. Fucking Netanyahu woke up in the morning and he's like, "What's on the docket for today? What is the docket? What are we doing?" And they were like, "Sir, you have 10 meetings. You have a meeting with the Minister of Health, the Minister of the State, and the Minister of Merchandise Trading." And he's like, "What? No Minister of War? What is my meeting with him? What is going on here? What?" And they were like, "The ceasefire started." And he's like, "No, fuck that, fuck." Ceasefire, what are you talking about? This is America. I don't know these fucking words. Start the war. Go kill them. I'm getting bored over here. No explosions. The explosions lull me to sleep. It's like a massage chair in my bed. Go kill them. Go. Come on. What are you doing? Get out of my face with this Minister of Health. I don't give a shit. What are we going to talk about? Circumcising babies? Or we're going to talk about cutting baby dicks off? I don't care. We're all healthy anyway. We all eat the Mediterranean diet. Go kill them. What are you doing? Get out of my face. That's what he did. He was like, "Where's my theme music at?" And he walked back in there and he was like, 10,000 tons of bombs to Gaza right fucking now. I don't know how they haven't destroyed it all yet. Like, that's the biggest mystery to me about the Israel, Palestine war, the Israel-Hamas, whatever you want to call it, is how has Israel, because if you look at it on a map, Gaza and the West Bank are like tiny. They're fucking tiny. There's like ranches in Texas that are bigger than this. I don't know the amount of ordnance they drop. Every day you hear a story about Israel dropped 20,000 bombs or 20,000 pounds of bombs on Palestine yesterday. And it's like, that should have been enough to destroy how? Did these people live in tunnels? I guess they do have tunnels. I guess that is part of it. But you're telling me there's 1 million people living in tunnels and you just can't get to them? I don't know how it's going over there. Not well, it looks like. Not well. Meanwhile, at least 26 Palestinians were killed and 60 others injured by Israeli airstrikes across the Gaza Strip over the past 24 hours. The territory's Hamas-run health ministry said. The fact that Hamas has a health ministry is just... That doesn't make me believe in them, right? That the fact that they're focused on... You should... Every single aspect of your life should be focused on war, dude. You need like a Napoleon or something. You need a Napoleon. Napoleon. That's the Muslim. That's the Arabic Napoleon. That's what you need right there, right? You don't need fucking some guy being like, okay, maybe that's all the minister of it. That could be all he does anyway. Is be like, fuck, we don't have enough time. We don't have enough time to worry about diabetes or whatever. Fucking 20 preschoolers just got killed, but it is, and I do think they included the part about because we know whose side the BBC is on. The BBC, I think it's owned by maybe it's not owned by the government, but I mean they're controlled by Israel. Let's call a spade here. Look up anything about Ghislaine Maxwell. Ghislaine Maxwell's father was I think he worked in science, but he also owned a newspaper, and he was also part of the Mossad, right? And Ghislaine Maxwell, if you don't know, was Jeffrey Epstein's like partner in crime, allegedly, during the whole like child trafficking thing. And her father was a Israeli spy who owned like a media outlet in England. So I'm gonna take a wild shot in the dark here, completely no evidence, right? Like disregard completely what I said. I think the BBC might be owned in part or controlled in part by Israel, because the number was probably way higher than that. In a statement on Tuesday, the Israeli Defense Forces said it had struck approximately 40 engineering vehicles used for terror purposes, including during the October 7th massacre. And people always talk about like October 7th for why like it's justified that Israel's bombing Palestine, and it's like, yeah, that's been going on since like the 90s. I don't think something that happened in, what was it, 2023. I don't think that justifies the previous 30 years. I think what happened on that day was a retaliation, right? I think that was the retaliation. I don't think Israel, bombing Gaza for, the past 2 years is the retaliation. I think the retaliation was October 7th. And they call it a massacre. It might be like one of those Kent State massacres. Like Kent State is a college, right? And a bunch of kids were protesting there about Vietnam or whatever, and like like 3 people got killed, and they're like, oh, it was a massacre. It was and they didn't even kill them on purpose. That's the funniest part about it. Is like there are these other kids that were protesting, and they were like throwing rocks at these guys, like the National Guard or whatever, and the National Guard like shot, like kind of like almost like the Arabs do, right? When they like shoot the bullets in the air and they're like, like that's what the National Guard did. But like some of the bullets like completely across the campus, like all the way across the campus, hit like 3 random students. And they're like, it's a massacre. Can you believe it? It's a massacre. But I do want to see how many, because what did they invade? They invaded like a fucking EDM party. Look, anyone who's at an EDM party clearly doesn't fucking value their life at all, right? Oh, they invaded multiple things at one time. I'm just trying to see how many fucking people died, how many civilians died. Oh my fucking God. Israeli Defense Force, they got 700 they got like 800 soldiers. Okay. They only killed, they got 800 Israeli civilians. Hey, that's a decent number. I was really underestimating you guys over at Hamas. I really thought I was like, Hezbollah, those are the fucking big dogs over there. But Hamas, that's a solid hit. You got 800. I mean, that's nothing crazy. You're really not making an impact unless you're breaking like 10 thou. But 800, that's a decent start. I can respect Hamas for that. But yeah, I guess they got a decent amount of them, and I guess they're trying to end the war by ending the war. Good plan, guys. I'm sure that one will work out. Whatever genius negotiator came up with that one, give that guy a fucking promotion. And then, sadly, we have Pope Francis's funeral date announced by Vatican as first images of his body are released. And Pope Francis did die. Allegedly, he died on the day after Easter, but a lot of people are like calling bullshit on that, because apparently there's like some sort of prophecy in the Bible is that like whenever a pope dies on Easter, like the next pope is going to be the last pope, and then Armageddon comes. So if you're a big Bible guy, I guess it's time to lock the fuck in. I'm probably going to reduce the amount I'm jacking off just in case God comes at a certain time. I don't want to be caught with my fucking pants down, literally. So I think I'm going to be reducing the amount I jack off. Probably not smoking as much weed. The zins, I don't think God cares about the zins. I think those are a gift he gave, like, personally to us. They even look like little presents, right? They come in like a beautiful little wrapped tin. I think God is okay with that one. But I think the jacking off, maybe if I do, I'll be like, God, It's a Sports Illustrated, right? Maybe I'll transfer over to Sports Illustrated so that when God's like, yo, what the fuck are you doing? I'm like, God, look, I know normally I'm watching like No Mercy for My Throat or Ava Devine 8-Man Gangbang. Right now I'm looking at a fucking I'm looking at Sports Illustrated. I'm looking at Pam Anderson right now, God. It's a major improvement. And he's like, he gives me a little fist bump, and he's like, yeah, that's what I'm talking about, Pam Anderson. I made her just for you, all right? Let's get up there, right? So maybe let's reduce the amount we're jacking off, everyone. Or, hey, any women listening to this, if you're a woman and listening to this, and I know that you are, rub your clit a little bit less and stop using those crazy fucking like power tools you guys use. Stop using that industrial equipment on your fucking pussy. All right, let's cut that one out too. Just finger yourself, so when God comes down, he's gonna be like, well, the female orgasm is a myth anyway, so I don't know why you're fingering yourself, but at least you're not using a power tool on yourself. Let's go back up to heaven right now. All right, let's get out of here. So I think that's what we've all got to do as a human community. We have to come together and stop reading the chicks to the chicks. Stop reading those goon books all the time, because start reading the Bible. There's plenty of instances of rape in the Bible, so you guys can read those and get off on those, but stop reading those weird ass goon books you guys read. I think that's another thing we got to do. But allegedly he died yesterday. I don't know if I believe that. It said he died at 4 a.m, so he probably died earlier. He died of a stroke and heart failure. Damn, a double whammy. A double whammy. God must have really wanted him to kill him on Easter. That really must have been part of God's plan, because a stroke and heart failure at the same time, or maybe like one of them caused the other. Because like, what's a stroke? A stroke is like a blood clot getting in your brain, but your brain isn't, like, your brain can be dead, but your heart can still be beating. So yeah, that's a double whammy. That's a 1-2 combo right there that God sent right down just for Pope Francis, I'm thinking. So, but he took him out of the game. And yeah, the coffin carrying the Pope, who died Monday morning after suffering, will be brought in a procession Wednesday morning, accompanied by cardinals to the basilica from his residence at Casa Santa Marta, where he died. The Pope's body was placed in his coffin in the chapel of the Santa Marta residence on Monday. So I guess that's like the White House for the Pope, maybe. But the Vatican released the first photos and videos of Francis since his death, showing him in the wooden coffin wearing a red robe and the papal mitre on his head. Damn, dude. I'm looking at a picture of dead Pope Francis right now. It looks like he got fucking Negan came in and gave him what for, dude. That's what that looks like. It looks like he got beat to death with a baseball bat. Like, half his face is like bright red and like swollen, dude. It looks like someone beat him to death. It looks like he like fucking got in a fist fight with an Aryan gang in prison or something. It looks like he got a serious beat that. Looks like he stole someone's ramen on the fucking jail cell. God damn, they fucked him up. Whatever CIA agent was sent to kill him, whatever angel God sent down to get him out of the game was, that he fucked him up. And I think it did almost die a few years ago. But yeah, I'm not gonna read too much into this. I don't know. Maybe the apocalypse will come. Maybe it won't. But either way, I hope you have a good day, good week, good year, good life, and I'll see you on Thursday. Peace.